What it do, what it does, what it be like, people, you already know who it is. This is your boy DJ Babiboi, and you are tuned in to Salute the Grind. And I have the one and only, I'm talking about NAACP entrepreneur, hip hop community activist, artist, dancer, podcast host, man. Listen, he invests in the youth, man. What doesn't he do? Event host. I think he even getting the DJ and he doing it all, man. This is a one-man movement. Goes by the name of Greg B. Introduce yourself to the people, brother.
Yo, it's the one and only, like you said, Greg B. And like I said, we do this for the people, like true hip hop, baby. You know what I'm saying? So all we do is encourage everybody to love each other, love the culture, and uplift one another. And we just use different platforms to get that point across. It's all about the culture, baby.
That's what's
the
up,
true
man.
Culture.
That's
the
what's
true
up,
culture,
man.
Yeah.
So, as far as even getting on this path, man, that you've been on, bro, as far as movement with the culture, how did it all start, man? What created that within you?
Well, again, man, I think it might have started sitting in my car one day. We went through Hurricane Katrina, and I'm sitting away in another state. I still got the number, the Arkansas number. And I was just listening to the radio in the car one day, and I heard a few things. I was like, oh, no, this can't be the direction that hip-hop is going, or the fan base is going, or corporate America then finally co-opted our sound, and they took the voice of the people out of our music. It just became very superficial. I get it, making a little money, tap your feet, it's catchy, I get all that, but we went into another direction that perverted our culture, if you will.
Yeah.
So I use the medium of hip-hop, basically being that we're down south. It's all about music, eating, and a little libation, pop some bottles here and there. That's just a southern thing. We fellowship through our culture, and I saw our fellowship was being distorted because the message in the music changed completely. And being that I got a background in psychology, degrees and things of that nature, I saw the impact. I looked at it as far as what kind of impact did the music have on people my age, and I guess in the next generation. And I saw a terrible shift in the way we interact when that certain culture was being pumped through the airwaves. So I try to counter that stuff,
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Well, you spoke a little bit about like your education background, man. Touch in on a little bit of that, man. First, your education and everything.
Yeah, well, I got a bachelor in psychology. I've been doing the human service field, I guess, about 25 years. I've mentored kids ever since I was in college. I belong to Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. Pretty much trying to live by the code, if you will, or live by the mission. Went off to Minnesota, and I was doing a graduate degree in counseling, rehab counseling, if you will. That wasn't my thing. It was more paperwork, and I'm more a person that needs to interact with the clients, not just paper pushing. You know what I mean? So At that point, a pivotal moment, I read the book by Russell Simmons, and one of the key lines said, "What would you do if you didn't make a penny doing it? What would you spend the rest of your life doing?" And it was just partying, enjoying hip hop, and entertaining people. And when I was in graduate school, I did just like Russell Simmons. I started selling invitations out my dorm room to the events, to a nightclub up there. Was on a college radio station, short-lived before they transitioned to another computer department. But I just saw the impact that music had on people, and I always was a guy that collected music, and I always collected, back in the day, some of the kids would never know what this is, maxi singles, things of that nature with different versions.
Right.
And I was just a connoisseur that would just basically would just cultivate an experience through music.
Right.
And so that's how I started my entrepreneurship. Left the graduate school, came back home, started throwing block parties on Sundays. And around 1998, I was living in New Orleans, but I would drive back over to Mississippi, about 45 minutes. And Sundays I'd do block parties, and then on Friday nights I would do team dances, trying to keep that thing going. Times things change. then worked my way up to a nightclub at a Caribbean International nightclub. It's all good. I was on my second nightclub when the hurricane hit that put me in Arkansas. So like I said, that changed things. That's when I became a promoter, if you will. Wasn't trying to start all over with a nightclub. I just wanted to throw events,
Yeah, that's dope, man. Appreciate that background on that, man. I know the listeners and the viewers appreciate that as well. So, saying, I guess you're more into promoting. So, what keeps you like motivated? I'm gonna let you answer. I could assume, but I'm gonna just let you answer. What keeps you motivated in this game? As far as the promotion and the things that you do.
Well, truly, what keeps me motivated, I don't know, but what really keeps me motivated, I was telling a young man today. Ironically enough, I was in Gulfport at a STEM program that I brought from New Orleans. So I was in Gulfport this morning, and I was talking to one of these young men. And he was like, again, question is, how do you keep doing what you do, whatever, and all that. Every morning I wake up like yesterday never happened. I start like every day is the first day on the job, first day of school, or whatever it is, I said, never get too high, never get too low. Just keep going, So when there's so much work to do, there's so much negativity going on out there for us as black men, just as black people. So I guess the big thing is there's never going to be where we at right now. There's never going to be a shortage of work. We're in a bad situation right now. I mean, I'm 50 years old, just like hip hop. Shout out to hip hop, 50 years old. But my generation, I got to apologize. I'm working on an apology right now. My generation has dropped the ball on the next generation. I always tell people, as I'm out here struggling to get resources, I get them indirectly one way or another. It works out to some degree. Might not be monetary on my end, but the job gets done for us for giving the kids the resources. But the thing is, when I was 16, 17 year old, somebody that was 40 or 50, they were looking out for me. I don't know, as a culture, can we say that about what we're doing for the next generation?
So I know, just the kind of the thought process on that, man. During the time we had the generation before us was in the 50s and the 60s, prior to, I guess, close to the desegregation and all that stuff, where it was more of dependent on each other and more of a community-based thing. And when it got kind of to our generation, things started getting kind of, relaxed a little bit. You know what I mean?
The thing, let me tell you my theory on that. And the theory is that, of course, we were all in the same boat, if you will.
Right.
Because, again, we were all segregated and regulated to one side of town, regulated to a class system, literally. So, again, no matter how much money you had or how you felt about yourself, you all had to go to the back of the bus. So we all had something in common. Now, we're divided because, again, my struggle is not your struggle, So again, if I'm driving around in a nice car, living in obviously, like say, not obviously, but I could live in a different part of town or something like that. I might not can't empathize with your struggle, or it's divisive. Maybe someone that's doing well, or vice versa, somebody not doing so well. They're both gonna pick apart why their life is not so good, because we are all free, because we're not segregated and we're not regulated, So we got a lot of issues internally within our community that keep us divided,
Right. Yeah, because even in the household, it's a lot of division just going on in the household and in a community like that. So it's just like, it's a lot of work to do. And I know you're educated in it. You've been doing this for years and years. But what's been the thing that's been keeping educated people that have the vision of uniting the people in a way, you know what I mean, or moving the culture forward? What's the thing that keeps them from working together and building together?
One thing, again, because we are in Western culture, and the Western culture says me, my. It's all about number one, championship. Again, even if you were on the Chicago Bulls, it could be divisive because we talked about Michael. So it's just America, Western culture is always about number one, and you have to be number one. And if you know your African history, it was more about us. Just historically. I mean, our ancestors, it was about earth, and nobody owned anything. We all appreciated earth and we was thankful. When you get to a Western culture based on capitalism, the only way you can justify your existence is you compare yourself to somebody else and say that you're better than somebody. That's how you equate that you're doing very well, that you compare yourself to somebody that doesn't have. The have and the have-nots.
Right.
And we can be picked off as Black people. Again, you got to look at the psychological tactics. Some people, they find your weakness, they can divide you. So if you're a very powerful person, in the worst case scenario, they'll kill you.
Right.
They'll kill you. So that's a big deterrent for somebody not to go out on the edge. It could be your livelihood, it could be your standard of life, it could be favor. So we could be taken down by so many different variables. And then again, our community, educated, if you will, or uneducated, however you want to use that terminology, have not, whatever. We fight against each other for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And it's just, like I said, it's just psychological. Like I said, think about this as far as I'm not a big sports fan per se. I mean, I appreciate it, but I mean, I can't run stats down and things of that nature. That's not my thing. Right. I can go deep into the crates on some music and say who produced this, and that. That's what I'm into, or whatever. Right. But the only reason we glorify some of these people is their paycheck. We don't know these people at all. So, right. And that check is written by somebody, not by us. Mm. So we qualify how much we respect a Black person in America based on his salary and not his character. And that's just sign of the times. I mean, who do we glorify? Athletes, singers. I mean, don't get me wrong, some people do some incredible things, but we put all of our attention into things that has nothing to do with character and what type of human being you are. And that's why people get so disappointed if something happens to somebody. You only know they make a lot of money. You don't know those people at all.
Yeah. It's crazy, but even if you're using, I guess you could say the spotlight of television, entertainment, the bag, how everybody said, some people don't even have the money, but they looking the part and they're getting famous, getting popular. Because right now, it's a lot of people that's just using social media. They don't have money. They might have fake money that they flashing in front of the camera to feel like they are important, where it's being glorified and that. But they're trying to do that for the likes. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's nothing to do with money now. It's more about likes and the attention. So it could be
one and the same. It's all about value.
People, what you value.
Yeah. Okay. Likes are just like money to some people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Again, everybody wants to belong in the 1% or whatever you want to call it, the cool kids or whatever it is. It's all about, like I said, their value system. And again, one of the things I got to struggle with, and it's the way I'm built. I guess I'm counterculture. I'm not going to glorify certain things. I appreciate certain things. It's good and bad and everything. I mean, I'm not judgmental. Like I said, me having more of a degree in psychology, I'm looking at how was it impacted, I'll give you an example as a NWC president. Years ago. So I've been the president for like 10 years. And years ago, two things somebody said to me, something about me DJing. How can you play, mind you, this person probably 60 years old, might be 60, might be 70 now, or whatever. How can you play that music and you the NWCP president, this and that? I said, don't confuse what I do with who I am. Like I said, I don't play that when it's Greg or it's one of my events or whatever in the community. I'm under a contract. I'm executing a contract. Right. Now, the fact that you can't separate the two is a shortcoming on you. And that's probably one of my biggest problems is that I can't be put in a box. I am what I am. And again, I started, like I said, you may have seen, again, t-shirt you're wearing, Positive Black Image. It's all about influencing people with the right narrative. Over the summer, I taught my third time teaching my civil rap movement. And that was all. You'd be surprised how out of 7 kids that I was teaching in my nonprofit, whatever, you'd be surprised they had no clue what Juneteenth was. Now this is the information age. And it was just passed last year or the year before, making Juneteenth a national holiday, whichever year it was. I was surprised these kids had no clue.
Right.
So I taught them what Juneteenth was, and I used hip hop. I played tracks by like Plies, Trick Daddy, Tupac. And if you play one of these songs right now, songs that might not have been mainstream by Plies. I think one of the songs was "Why You Hate Me So Much." I don't know if you know that song. Yeah, I used that. As I went all the way from the 1500s all the way to the Civil Rights Movement. And Trick Daddy told them about the first town in America, St. Petersburg. Again, and a Trick Daddy, America. You play that track right now, so that song, "My Sweet Land of Liberty was never meant for me, America."
Right.
All right. Those kids, again, these kids are 9th and 8th, 9th, 10th grade. They never even heard of those songs, because you know how the kids' music are. So those are classics. Me and you thinking like, oh, who don't know Trick Daddy? These kids didn't know who Trick Daddy was, per se.
Right.
Didn't really know Tupac music, per se.
Right.
But that was the power of the civil rap movement. Those lyrics and those songs are timeless because they had content, And so that was just one of the tools I used, the power of hip hop. Because when I was in high school, 10th, 11th grade, we're talking 89, 90, we're going through the Heavy D, the Public Enemy, if you will, NWA, because the NWA dropped out 88 or whatever. So that music was really, it resonated. And we didn't have Black History Month per se. So I was able to stay in tune with Black history. I didn't get it in high school. So when I went to HBCU, it was hip hop that made me connect to the Black history that I didn't get in high school.
Right.
So again, I saw the power of KRS-One, Public Enemy, Tupac, things of that nature. Because they had references to the Black Panthers and so on and so on. It was music for me. So that's empowered me as a Black person, and then attending the HBC, you reinforce that.
Right. Yeah, salute, man. So tell, I know you touched on it already, all the stuff that you're doing for the kids, man, because it's dope that you're using hip hop to educate them and get their attention, man, and the work that you're doing for the youth, man. Let the people know about the passion for that and some of the work that you do, man, for the youth.
All right, well, like I said, this morning I was in Gulfport, one of the community centers, and the STEM NOLA showed the power of hip hop. As one of the great, Biggie would say, whoever thought hip hop would take it this far? You know what I'm saying? So I'm over in New Orleans, and I'm with one of my DJ partners, DJ Rob Fresh. We DJing. He's DJing. I'm emceeing for the Urban League and the Convention Center last September, if you will. So I go around, I'm casing the room, I'm checking out what's all in the convention center. Ironically not, one of those programs that I had with my other nonprofit, Dedicated Men Mentoring, I was teaching a program called CHOPS. It was teaching kids how to make healthy meals, and they were actually learning how to cook. And unfortunately, we needed a nutritionist, and we didn't have one on staff with a Oshner Hospital partnership. We didn't have one on staff. That program ended due to the second wave of COVID. But I met the young lady that created that program. I was walking around the convention center. Didn't know she was in there, didn't look for it. But I saw, as they were filming on TV or whatever, the young lady who went through that program, she was on, I want to say, America's Top Chef or something like that. So from that program, I was in there with the founder. I just stumbled upon it. One group of me was exercising. I walked, I'm just casing the room. Bam. So I got to see, all I do get to see through my travels and the things that I get into, I just keep an open mind. And I'm aware of my surroundings, if you will, conscious at all times. I'm present, And I met this young lady, and I'm like, wow, that program that I partnered up with the hospital in my community, brought to my community, I saw how far it could take somebody. It didn't happen for my community, but I saw the potential of what programs in your community put this young lady in the spotlight on national TV, and she won the award, and she was in there cooking, doing her thing. Over to the left of me, I walked back around, and I saw a STEM program. I'm seeing the, what you want to call it, the drones, and the science, and the test tubes, and this and that. And I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool, man. How could I get, it's only 45 minutes from where I'm at, Waverly, Mississippi, to New Orleans. I'm right on the other side of Slidell. And of course, I graduated over there and so on and so on. But they said, you know what, we're going to expand to Mississippi. But we don't have a building or any connections over there. And I'm looking at all this great stuff taking up
a fourth of the, well, I ain't gonna say a fourth, we take it up about half the size of a gym, if you will, and they section in there like, wow, y'all got all this, but y'all can't get a building or y'all don't have a connect. So, being the president of the NAACP, I picked up the phone. I called Councilman Truck Casey in Gulfport, and I called my other fellow president in Biloxi. Made some calls, put all the right people together. Bam! All they needed was a building, and they had the program, turnkey operation, open up, set up shop, do their marketing, get all the the kids with registration. Bam! And now you got a STEM program. And this morning, I got the opportunity to see probably the third time being in Harrison County. Got to see they were working on buoyancy and boats, and kids made little mechanical boats and they raced and stuff like that. So, that was hip hop right there. Through that microphone, through that platform of a DJ, I was able to transform that into a STEM program that took up a whole gymnasium, community center this morning.
Yeah, that's dope, man. For sure, bro. So the reward, a lot of times, is it for you? For a lot of the work that you do is the reward seeing the youth being blessed, seeing these programs being birthed. What is the reward to you?
Well, that's at this point, though. I've been doing this in my community, which is only 8% of the population here out of 46,000, which is roughly about rounded off to 4,000. Man, there is no reward for working in my community. The only reward is giving the people that would never have an opportunity to see these things, because no one else is going to do it. Yeah. As they say, Superman is not coming to my community.
Yeah.
My community has went completely down. The shift in the county is to a retirement community, casinos, overpriced houses, nothing. I mean, I turned my 10 years of DJing in the park or whatever, I turned that into a $500,000 investment. We done Martin Luther King Park, put a splash pad out there, put mural black images out there that were never seen before. Still waiting for it to be completed. And the people, the powers that be that were in charge of that, try to cut me out that situation.
Yeah.
Try to, and the park is not complete to this day. And I kind of left it alone. I want to see the people rise up. They don't care.
Never
care about
do.
Their own community. They zoned out their own community. You can't even have commercial property in the black community that was historically segregated. So they know not what they do because they have no vision, and they hurt our community. Because if I came into a windfall, or somebody gave me some money with a contingency, you must open up this business that is successful, but I need you to do it in the predominantly black area of town. They zoned it out. I couldn't do it if I wanted to.
Right. That's a way around that. Maybe it depends on the state. But it still goes back to the community. Everybody in that community, if they went down there to that city hall and voted, not just voted, actually wrote a letter.
They were the ones. The black community were the
black
ones.
People were the ones that zoned it out.
Zoned out that community.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Black councilman fighting black people did not have his council zoned out non-commercial. It couldn't be commercial.
That's crazy, man. So sometimes we're our own worst enemy, man, because I understand the Western culture and all this, but a lot of these other people are uniting and doing what they're doing, and they're taking over stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm just trying to think of the mindset of leadership, and it's like you battling a lot because you're hands-on and you're educated with it. You know what I mean? It's like because you got the knowledge and the hands-on knowledge as well. You know what I mean? So it's like you something else. So it's like, why is it that the council people and sometimes the people that you're trying to help are using you as a target, like to try to eliminate you, like you the problem? Why is that, man? Because
you're bringing up something that people don't want to deal with. It's called cognitive dissonance. That's when you know the truth, but you are not willing to accept it. If I would, there's a picture I haven't taken just yet. I would drive down, let's say, okay, the Sigler community, our little small version of the projects, low income, whatever. So back in the day, you were regulated to the area, like I said, the third ward. Actually, my grandparents moved from New Orleans over here, and they were in projects when they got here, whatever it was. Everybody was in projects, per se, using that area of town. But we were in the projects that they tore down after Hurricane Katrina. So those projects was there from the time that I grew up here. I got here about age 5 or something. My dad was in the military, blah, blah, blah. So I was back here, age 5 or 6 or whatever it was. And so the projects, I grew up those projects in my childhood, whatever, and I knew that, that was the black community. That was the Martin Luther King Park. That's where they used to have a lot of 4 or 5 different nightclubs in those small areas, no hole in the walls or whatever. So I grew up there. In the generation before me, again, that was their business district, if you will. And you had people that sold fish and all that. Had to make their way, make a living because they were not allowed into the white community per se. So I look at that as the business district, like Tulsa, smaller version. I got some stats that we had 30 businesses. Now we're still only talking about within a mile square radius, the small little neighborhood, not a community, a neighborhood, if you will. Right. It housed about 30 businesses, whether it was services or whatever it was. Could have been a car mechanic, fisherman, whatever it is. But they would generate money to pay their bills, make a living, feed their family. Right. Now, zero zilch. You go down to the main street, they bustling. And we don't even go down there as a community. Right. And everybody's cool with that. I think that's strange to me. I can't even use that word. I don't even want to use the word community anymore because we are not a community. We are black people who have to live around white people. Yeah. There's no businesses. There's no restaurants, clinics, grocery stores, mom and pop grocery stores, no mechanics. There is nothing that can financially sustain a community that is black owned. And therefore, so when you have black issues, because you still don't get wrong, the culture is racist and segregated psychologically, if not socially, if you will. Been here 14 years. I've still yet to see white people in my community until this time. The same sad story, election or personal agenda. Yeah. So you cannot have political power, economic power, if you are dependent on somebody else. You are solely dependent on your well-being by somebody else of another color that marginalizes you to write your check. Right.
So to touch on that economic, I know this is a good interview. I just want to say that right off top. We're giving a lot of information out there, man. But to touch on the economics, what would you suggest for the youth? I have my opinions, but I want to hear your mindset.
Right. Well, one thing I have in mind for the youth, again, of course, to get a quality education, but don't limit yourself to, again, public or private school in the area, whatever. Get your education, get your textbook, get your fundamentals, but don't ever stop learning. Because again, something I still haven't figured out, I think kids are giving the information for the test now. They don't have books. So you can't read ahead, you can't read about. You have to pretty much take that teacher's curriculum, unless you do some extra reading, you stuck at what the curriculum that's given to you. So that one, they're missing critical thinking. And of course, between computers, the internet, and COVID showing everybody that you don't need a storefront to have a business, I think entrepreneurship should be part of the culture, which is part of everybody else's culture. Because when the white kids, the Asian kids, the Latino or Mexican, whatever the proper term is, Latino, when they go home, they go to a community that consists of managers, doctors, lawyers, and not that we don't. It's just that they have so many more in numbers. That's their cultural norm. Our cultural norm is to go shoot basketball, play football, and talk about shaking our butt, so something gratuitous, because it gets attention, and attention gets you money now, like you said, likes. Yeah. So we are so superficial while everybody else has the fundamentals. It's not hard for me and my friends to go to another country when our dad, our uncles, our relatives own the local business. All right. They have a surplus. And then again, you got to think about it. Just in my area, this is really unique because there's a black business down here just opened up and he's struggling. Black people won't even patronize. You got a little hookah bar. The community will not patronize that. Crazy. He's just sitting there. So if 100% of the black people don't patronize your business and you're in the black community, where else you gonna get your money from? Right. The white people. I've not seen an Asian person play basketball in my community to this day. Might see a white person every now and then, but I've not seen their parents. I've not seen white participation in my community. And I've been here, this will be my 14th year.
I have not seen these individuals in my community other than a special occasion, and I can count those on one hand.
I'm gonna let you talk on a few things that I know for sure you got going on. You got the Black Empowerment podcast going on. That's dope that you got that going on. What started that and what sparked that idea for you to push that forward?
Well, that podcast actually jumped off because of the television show I used to have with one of my partners in New Orleans, and we were on a Now network, like a religious network, a big overseas. I think 50 million subscribers in America and 130 over like in the mostly African continent and Europe, if you will. That was on Fire Stick, so on the religious channel called Now Network. So what I started doing on that program was I was going how everybody does the, let me go tell you about this great restaurant. I focused on restaurants in a lounge. I would showcase the business itself, but I focused on the backstory. Why did you start this business and what's good about this business? Not so much, ooh, you need to come try this signature drink or you need to try this dish. I focus on the entrepreneur, the owner, and what inspired them to be. So from that, after we did 13 episodes of that, then I jumped to my cameraman, jumped into, so let's do a podcast. But then the podcast again was a different spin with the same aspect. We interviewed people that we thought were influential, or we gave certain people a platform that didn't have a platform. Could have been a poet, a rapper. I did a black business. Mostly I focused on mostly on black businesses and interviewing them and telling their story and things of that nature. So that's what the Black Empowerment. We want to empower people and showcase individuals.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Hey, salute your grind for that and everything else that you got going on, man. Because really, at this day and age, it's like we can have control of our own media. You know what I mean? So it's like we don't have to put out the images that the rest of the media is already putting out of us. We can put out different things. That's another thing behind Salute the Grind. Me, I'm targeting the grinders, the hustlers, the go-getters, the people that I've been seeing putting in work, man. And I just want to give a platform to people like you, to people like the other people that I've interviewed, man, because it's just dope that we can actually do that now. And we don't have to wait for ABC or any other news channel to come see us or interview us and talk about what we do in our community, man. You know what I mean?
Well, the trick is, don't get me wrong, statistically, like I said, there may be more consumers, white America, being that we are about 14%. Don't get me wrong, but ABC started out somebody's head. Somebody thought about it. They may be able to pull some resources or whatever it may be, but it was all an idea. Our only problem, or some of our only problem, is, again, in this day and age, people respond to people following the following before they even think about the product. I'll tell you one thing I tell a lot of black entrepreneurs, especially in the club business, if they're starting out struggling, whether they make it or not. I said, the easiest way to get a black crowd, man, just have a bunch of cars parked in front of the building. They don't care about the product. They care about the crowd. Right, and that might be that social media folks. If you got a following, they just give you validation. You are incredible. I mean, how many people, I ain't gonna bring up nobody personal music with her, but how many people broke records and they're the biggest thing in hip hop and that's some of the worst music you ever heard in your life?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and they're breaking all-time records.
It's plenty.
So,
the whole following type thing. So maybe the fact that, just my opinion, people are afraid of leadership roles because a lot of times, like you said, leaders will get targeted and taken out. And so they're more comfortable in being in the following mindset, so they follow people while somebody else takes all the...
Absolutely.
I'll just say take all the heat, man. Like what you do, man, it's not a lot of people that's willing to do that. You know what I mean? But they'll cheer you on from afar. But they don't want to come out and support what you got going on.
Well, let me tell you one of the worst things about being in the position I am, or whatever it is, again, man, people, I can't almost get out of Walmart sometimes. People stopping by and thanking me. And these same people that see me in a crowd, when I see them another day, when they're with their crowd, they want to act like they never saw me in their life.
Right. It is tough to be a black
It's crazy.
person that stands up. A lot of people you feared because that's, like I said, that's counterculture.
Right.
Everybody wants to be in some people's favor. Like I said, it might be for the monetary gain. Oh, you're gonna offend somebody, this and that. And like I said, even with a position like I have or anything I'm doing, somebody said, let's join this person. Let's see my organization. Let's write a check to this person and join. So I didn't see them in my community.
Right.
I don't see my community. And being that I got a degree in psychology, not saying I'm brilliant or nothing like that, but I can see your agenda. You're trying to buy your way into their favor. And then, like I said, I speak real broad. When I say something like that, somebody might get offended. But the point is, you're going to take money allocated for our best interest because you want to get closer or you want them to smile on you. But you didn't do nothing for this money. You didn't do nothing for this work. You just want to buy into the game. I don't want to buy into the game. I want to be self-sustainable in my community because I'm 50 years old now. Where y'all been? If you ain't done it by now, why are we still talking?
Right.
Yeah.
Man, so how can people support you, man, and what you got going on, man? Put it out there, let them know how to follow you or donate to any of your nonprofits.
All right. Well, you can go under my name. My full name is Gregory, Gregory. Last name Barabino, Barabino. Gregory Barabino on social media. That would be Facebook and also Instagram. Now, I got a couple Facebooks because I got locked out a few times and passwords. But you want to look for my cartoon icon character, and it has like a pink background. So if you see it, pink background with a cartoon character, that's the right one. The other one has a black and white background or whatever. That's my old page. I don't usually use that. But if you want to donate to me, the simplest way you can do that, that's through Cash App. And that's, again, the $ and my name again, full name, Gregory Barabino. That'd be the Cash App, Gregory, Gregory, Barabino, Barabino. Simplest way, my phone number, you can contact me anytime you want to know what I got going on, you want to support in any kind of way, because the easiest way to support is just to share. And then they'll come across some like-minded people and they share. That's the easiest marketing tool we have in a small business is people awareness. And again, contacting people. I still do real time. I'm on Facebook, social media, so on and so on. And let me tell you about that social media too. If it wasn't for Cash App and Messenger, I probably wouldn't be able to accomplish some of these things. I get some of my critical funds, if you will, just enough to break even, if you will, through social media. That's why you always see me posting something, because again, in marketing, if anybody knows in marketing, again, it's about the numbers.
Yeah.
You know, so it really matters who sees your stuff and how many people see what you have going on. And some of my biggest supporters, I've never met them to this day.
That's
never.
What's up.
No history, no nothing. They saw the product, not what other barrier there is. It transcends. They see the kids. They see I say it, kind of like Muhammad Ali. I tell you what I'm going to do, and then I deliver it. You know, whether you call it the 5th round or whatever, I knock it out the box, and that's what it is. You know?
That's what's up, man. Salute the grind. Salute the grind. Y'all hear what it is to support this brother. He's out here doing the most for our people, man. Hey, you one of a kind, brother. You know what I mean? One of a kind. And I like to say, any shout outs, anything you want to give before we get up out of here, man?
Oh, man, shout out to my daughter, shout out to my mom, shout out to my fiance, shout out to everybody, you know. It's appreciate anybody. I got to give a special shout out. I won't call their names, but all the haters, I couldn't do it without you, baby. I could not do it without you. Y'all keep me grinding, baby. Much love. Y'all keep that hate coming, and I'm going to keep that great coming.
That's what's up, man. Big shout out to that man, Greg B, man. Once again, we appreciate you, man. But again, like I say, I salute your grind, grind.
Shout out to you, because, hey, sometimes, like I say, in real life, we pick up the phone and we call each other and we support each other. You know what I'm saying? What you think about this? What you think about that? And we always say, how can we help some other people? So it's real. It ain't just social media. It's real life right here.
For sure. And that's real, man. That's real. I appreciate the opportunity, man. And we got some stuff to do. Like you say, it's some work to do. And we're going to make it happen, man. Again, I salute your grind, brother.
Man, salute your grind too, man.
Appreciate you. We're about. The art of storytelling, many yelling about how hard it's getting, but I'm saluting the grind because we on a mission. And when your purpose defined, you gotta pay attention to every one of the signs that put you in position. I know I'm destined to shine, therefore I gotta glisten. And when that spirit be talking to me, I gotta listen. And I don't wait for nobody to do it for me. I just get up on my hustle and gotta receive the glory, baby. Faith without works is dead to me, baby.